Kathryn sat on the balcony, holding a glass of red wine, gazing out at the garden and the backyard of the mansion. Her marriage had become utterly boring, and the luxurious lifestyle seemed unable to fill the void in her heart. She never imagined herself becoming interested in a gardener on such a sunny afternoon, but when she saw Ben squatting in the flower bed, diligently pruning the plants, a strange attraction surged within her. "Hi, Ben, right?" Kathryn waved to Ben, smiling. Ben looked up, his eyes clear and gentle. "Yes, I'm Ben. Hello, Miss Kathryn." He stood up, wiping the dirt off his hands, as if he had just emerged from the garden. Kathryn couldn't help but feel a hint of curiosity. "You really take good care of the garden, Ben." Ben smiled. "Thank you, Miss Kathryn. I've always had a special fondness for plants, which is why I chose to become a gardener." Kathryn nodded. "I can understand. I have a similar passion for acting." She paused for a moment, then suddenly with some courage, she said, "Would you like to have a drink with me? We can chat on the balcony." Ben was somewhat surprised but quickly nodded. "Of course, Miss Kathryn. I'd be delighted." The two sat on the balcony as the sun set, the aroma of red wine wafting through the air. They began discussing their lives and dreams, gradually closing the distance between them. "Why did you become a gardener?" Kathryn asked curiously. Ben pondered for a moment. "Perhaps because I enjoy the feeling of being close to nature. Here, I can forget all my worries and focus solely on the growth and care of plants." Kathryn nodded with a smile. "I can relate. Acting, for me, is like an art that allows me to express myself and forget everything else." Their conversation grew more intimate, like old friends reuniting after years apart. Ben began to feel a warmth he had never experienced before, while Kathryn gradually developed a deeper curiosity about this ordinary yet charming gardener. As the moon rose, their conversation delved deeper, and their mutual attraction became increasingly evident. Kathryn began to realize that she might have fallen into a whirlwind of emotions she couldn't control, while Ben also discovered that he had developed more feelings for this elegant and beautiful actress. Kathryn and Ben's lovely evening on the balcony was abruptly interrupted by sudden noise. Music and laughter drifted from the neighboring yard, piquing their curiosity as they ventured over to investigate. Upon arrival, they were met with a lively scene. Ed, their new mansion neighbor, was hosting a barbecue party, and the atmosphere was electrifying. "Wow, this party looks fantastic," Kathryn exclaimed excitedly. "Let's join in." Ben nodded. "All right, let's check it out." They entered the party, immediately drawn in by the exuberant atmosphere. People chatted, laughed, and enjoyed delicious grilled food and drinks permeating the air with enticing aromas. Music echoed through the air, and people danced freely on the dance floor. "Hey, Kathryn, come play a game," a lively voice suddenly called out from the crowd. Kathryn turned around to find Ed, holding a party game box, inviting her with a beaming smile. "Of course," Kathryn responded enthusiastically. She and Ben joined the game, relishing in the joy of the party along with the others. As the night progressed, the party grew livelier, and the atmosphere more heated. People began to drink excessively, while dance moves and cheerful laughter filled the entire yard. At that moment, Kathryn inadvertently noticed something that puzzled her. Ed and Ben were engaged in a low conversation on the side, their expressions somewhat mysterious, as if discussing something important. Kathryn couldn't help but feel uneasy, a question lingering in her mind. What were they plotting? "Ben, Ed, what are you guys talking about?" Kathryn approached, trying to break the awkward tension between them. Ben and Ed exchanged a glance, then smiled faintly. "Oh, nothing, just chatting about trivial matters," Ben replied. Kathryn felt slightly displeased, but she didn't press further. She thought she might be overly suspicious. After all, it was just a regular party, and she shouldn't let herself get caught up in unnecessary worries. However, that question still lingered in her mind, pricking at her heart like a thorn. She began to realize that perhaps this party wasn't as straightforward as it seemed on the surface. Ben and Ed might have some secrets she wasn't aware of, and those secrets could potentially threaten her family and her life. After the party, Kathryn returned home filled with confusion and unease. She couldn't ignore the exchange she witnessed between Ben and Ed at the party, nor the hint of mystery in their eyes. She realized she might have stumbled into a situation fraught with puzzles and danger, and she needed to take action to protect herself and those she cared about. As she entered the living room, a strange scent greeted her. She halted, looking around, noticing the room's arrangement seemed different, with some items appearing to have been moved. Her heart sank, a sense of foreboding washing over her. Someone's been here. Kathryn's mind raced with panic as she reached for her phone, intending to call security. But as she unlocked her phone, she discovered the signal had been blocked, rendering her unable to contact the outside world. Just then, a figure emerged from the shadows, startling Kathryn before she recognized it was Ben. "Ben, what are you doing here?" Kathryn asked, still filled with fear. Ben approached her, a hint of anxiety on his face. "Miss Kathryn, I've discovered something," he whispered. "Someone has broken into your home. I don't know who they are, but I sense danger." Kathryn's heart pounded as she realized the severity of the situation. "What do we do?" Ben paused, considering. "We need to contact the police immediately. There might be danger here. At the same time, we need to find Ed and see if he knows anything about this." The two hurried towards the phone, only to find that all lines were dead. Kathryn felt her nerves tightening, realizing she might have fallen into a more complex and dangerous situation. Suddenly, a loud noise erupted from upstairs, sending Kathryn and Ben's hearts sinking. They immediately rushed upstairs, preparing to face whatever awaited them. Kathryn and Ben rushed up the stairs, following the direction of the loud noise. As they reached upstairs, a startling scene unfolded before their eyes. Their bedroom had been completely ransacked, furniture toppled, wardrobes opened, and everything strewn haphazardly across the floor. "Oh my goodness, what in the world happened here?" Kathryn exclaimed in shock. "Our home is completely ransacked." Ben's expression grew grim. "Someone must have been searching for something. We need to find out what they were looking for." They searched around, eventually finding a box hidden among the clutter containing some documents. Opening it, they found seemingly ordinary papers, but Kathryn realized these documents might hold crucial clues about her past and present. "These documents seem important. We need to take a look." Kathryn's voice was determined. They began studying the documents, uncovering some shocking truths. It turned out these papers revealed some unsavory secrets about Kathryn's husband and clandestine dealings with Ed. Kathryn felt shocked and enraged, realizing her marriage might have been built on lies and deception. "I can't stand for this anymore. I have to face reality and uncover the truth behind these secrets," Kathryn resolved. "I need to find Ed and figure out what he's up to." Ben nodded. "I'll support you every step of the way, Miss Kathryn." They decided to head to Ed's mansion, locate him, and inquire about the truth behind these documents. However, upon reaching Ed's house, they found it empty, everything eerily deserted. Where could Ed have gone? Kathryn's mind filled with questions and unease. Just then, a shadow lunged from behind. Kathryn and Ben instinctively turned around, only to see a figure cloaked in black, wielding a sharp blade, glaring at them coldly. "You two, don't move. We need to have a chat." The figure's voice dripped with menace. Kathryn and Ben realized they were in an even more dangerous situation. Kathryn and Ben faced the threat of the figure cloaked in black, their hearts filled with fear, yet they refused to back down. Suddenly, Kathryn remembered her phone and attempted to discreetly dial the police, hoping to get help. However, upon unlocking her phone, she found the signal still blocked, rendering her unable to contact the outside world. "You two aren't going anywhere," the figure in black shouted loudly, brandishing the blade as they approached. Unwavering, Ben stepped forward. "We won't let you succeed." Equally undaunted, Kathryn added, "We know everything now. Your scheme has been exposed." Intimidated by their resolve, the figure hesitated for a moment but then let out a low growl, thrusting the blade towards them. At this critical moment, a group of people suddenly entered through the doorway. Police and security arrived on the scene, swiftly apprehending the figure in black, restoring order to the chaotic situation. "Are you both all right?" The police personnel rushed over with concern. Kathryn and Ben breathed a sigh of relief. "We're okay now. Thank you for the timely rescue." The police arrested the figure in black and escorted them away from the scene. Subsequently, they began investigating the truth behind the conspiracy and took appropriate action. Throughout this process, Kathryn finally learned about her husband's and Ed's illicit dealings and their betrayal. Faced with everything, Kathryn decided to end her unhappy marriage, reclaiming her courage and autonomy. She knew she needed to leave this toxic environment behind and pursue her own happiness and freedom. Thus, she initiated divorce proceedings with her husband, determined to embark on a new life. Behind it all, she was grateful for Ben's help and support, knowing she wasn't alone in this challenging journey. Together, she and Ben faced various difficulties and challenges, ultimately exposing the conspiracy and reclaiming their freedom and happiness.